Why do you keep ending up with the same type of person? Different face, same pattern. Same chase, same distance, same ending. That's not bad luck. That's attachment. Attachment is the blueprint your nervous system built for love long before you had any say in it. It decides what feels like safety and what feels like home, even when home was never safe. Attachment isn't a personality type, it's a survival strategy, formed in early childhood based on one question. When I needed you, did you show up? Consistent response builds one wiring. Inconsistent response builds another. Absence builds a third. The brain doesn't ask if the pattern is healthy. It asks if the pattern is familiar. Familiar feels safe even when it isn't. 4 styles come out of this: secure, anxious, avoidant, disorganized. Watch for which one keeps showing up as you. Secure isn't the absence of fear, it's the presence of trust. A securely attached person can want closeness and tolerate distance without panicking about either. They ask for what they need directly. No games, no testing, no silent scorekeeping. Conflict doesn't threaten the bond, because the bond isn't fragile. Here's the trap in reverse. Secure people are often mistaken for uninterested. No chaos, no chase, no drama, so it doesn't register as passion. It just feels calm. Calm gets underrated because chaos taught you passion has to hurt to be real. It doesn't. Next one is anxious attachment. It is a nervous system that never fully believes it's safe. The core fear isn't rejection, it's disappearance. It usually forms from inconsistency, a caregiver who was warm sometimes, distracted other times, with no predictable pattern to it. The child learns, I have to stay alert or I'll lose them. In adult relationships, this shows up as constant scanning, reading tone, checking response times, replaying conversations for signs of withdrawal. Reassurance helps for a moment, then the anxiety resets and asks again. The trap: anxious attachment mistakes intensity for intimacy. A partner who's inconsistent, hot, then cold, feels more compelling than one who's steady. That's not chemistry. That's the nervous system rerunning a childhood pattern it already knows how to survive. Resistance starts with naming the urge before acting on it. Not, are they into me, but is this urge coming from what's happening now or from what always happened before? Let's talk about avoidant attachment. Avoidant attachment is a nervous system that learned closeness comes with a cost. The core fear isn't abandonment, it's engulfment, losing yourself in someone else. It usually forms from a caregiver who met physical needs but not emotional ones. Independence got rewarded, need got quietly discouraged. The child learns needing people leads to disappointment, so stop needing them. In adult relationships, this shows up as discomfort with dependency, theirs and yours. Compliments feel like pressure. Vacations from the relationship feel like relief. Vulnerability feels like exposure. It's not that they don't want closeness, it's that closeness triggers the same alarm that rejection triggers in anxious attachment, just aimed the other direction. The trap: avoidant attachment mistakes distance for independence. Resistance starts with staying one extra beat before pulling away. Not fixing the urge to leave, just noticing it and asking what it's actually protecting. The other one is disorganized attachment. Disorganized attachment wants both things anxious and avoidant want at the same time and can't hold either. Closeness feels necessary and unsafe simultaneously. So does distance. It usually forms when the source of comfort was also the source of fear, a caregiver who was frightening or frightened themselves. The child's instinct says go toward safety, but safety and threat are the same person. There's no resolvable strategy, so the nervous system doesn't build one. It just oscillates. In adult relationships, this shows up as push-pull that looks irrational from the outside and feels involuntary from the inside. Pulling someone close, then panicking once they arrive. Punishing distance, then punishing closeness. Neither side is lying. Both are true at once. Resistance here is slower than the other styles. It usually needs a steady, safe third party because the nervous system needs a new experience of safety. Now I need to talk about the anxious-avoidant trap. Here's why the last video's tactics work so well on some people more than others. Anxious and avoidant don't just coexist, they actively attract each other. The anxious partner's pursuit confirms the avoidant's fear of being engulfed. The avoidant partner's distance confirms the anxious fear of disappearance. Each one's worst fear becomes the other's daily behavior. This isn't coincidence, it's familiarity. Each nervous system recognizes its own childhood wiring in the other person's behavior and mistakes recognition for chemistry. Breadcrumbing, hot and cold cycles, intermittent attention. None of these tactics would work on a nervous system that wasn't already primed to interpret inconsistency as meaningful. That's the uncomfortable truth. Manipulation exploits real wiring. It doesn't invent the vulnerability, it just knows where to press. You don't need a quiz to know your style. Your body already told you. Ask, when someone pulls away, what's the first urge, chase or shut down? Ask, when someone gets close, what's the first urge, relax or brace? Ask, in conflict, do you over-explain, go silent, or stay present? The answer isn't a life sentence, it's a starting point. Attachment style isn't fixed. It's not your personality, it's your training, and training can be updated. This is called earned secure attachment, the process of building, as an adult, the consistency your nervous system didn't get as a child. It comes from repeated experience, not insight alone. Being met with steadiness enough times that steadiness starts to feel safe instead of suspicious. You don't have to fully trust the process before you start it. You just have to stay long enough for your nervous system to update the evidence. The pattern isn't who you are. It's just the oldest thing you learned. And the oldest thing you learned can still be replaced by something newer and truer. Which of these attachment styles do you or someone around you have? Which of these attachment styles do you or someone around you have? Let us know in the comments.